For the admission process, the first step really is talking to one's medical provider. So it may be that their physician has nothing more that they can offer medically for somebody as their disease is progressing and they're moving into a more terminal state. So the medical provider may be somebody that would be recommending hospice at this time for their patient. The other thing that can happen is that the patient or the family is at a point where they are no longer wanting curative or aggressive measures like going back and forth to the hospital anymore. So they may be the ones that are more leading in the direction of wanting hospice and talking to their medical provider about that. So first we would be talking to the medical provider, getting an order in place, and then the next step after that is generally that the hospice liaison is the person who would have the initial contact from our company with the patient or family, and that person would go out and provide an informational visit where they would be educating the patient and or family about what hospice is and what we can provide. And at that time, it's the initial introduction from our company, and it gives the patient and the family an opportunity to learn about hospice and also just get any questions answered that they may have, at that time. Okay, so documentation first would be getting a Medicare number for the patient. Most people who come on to hospice are covered through their Medicare benefits. Not all, but most are. So if somebody is 65 or older, they will have a Medicare card. We will get that number and start with that, getting that documentation. And then we will get an order like we talked about before. So that order is from the medical provider, and that gives us the ability to go out and do a proper evaluation for the patient. The other documentation that we want to get on the front end is recent medical records. So those records are important for me as the admission nurse and also for our medical director, because that gives us information about what has been happening with the patient in the most recent months and helps us to determine if somebody will actually qualify with a diagnosis to come on and receive our benefits for hospice. It's a very streamlined process, and we try to make it as simple and stress-free for a patient and their family, because it is a very difficult and tender time for many as they're contemplating for themselves or their loved ones to come onto hospice. So as far as the timeline goes, we can go as fast or slow as the patient and the family need. If they are in an acute situation and they need us in there quickly, we can do that. We can be there in a matter of a few hours and help them and get them on hospice. Oftentimes, they are processing and considering, do I really want to come on hospice? Am I ready for that? They want to talk to their family about it. They may need to or want to go and see their specialist one more time. So they want to go slower. And we just honor that. Wherever they're at, we move at their pace so that they are comfortable. So in terms of support during the transition as people are coming onto hospice, one thing that Medicare requires of us is that our team members come out within the first 5 days. So that would mean the chaplain, the social worker, and the nurse would make contact with the patient or family and schedule a visit within those first 5 days. The home health aide oftentimes comes out within that time period as well to help provide personal care. So that is happening at the beginning of hospice. And the other things that happen pretty quickly are, one, getting durable medical equipment into the home if those needs are there. So that would mean a hospital bed, oxygen, a wheelchair, a bedside commode, anything like that that the patient is needing right away. We'd get those things ordered and delivered as soon as possible, and any supplies that the patient may need. Gloves, wound care supplies, briefs, we get those things ordered and delivered to the patient, and we replenish those on a bi-weekly basis. For anyone who is looking to start the admission process or talk about hospice, they can do one of two things. They can first start with their medical provider and have that conversation there with their physician, or they can call us at Royal Hospice and we can begin that process by giving them information and answering questions as well.